Hey guys, welcome to Blaugrana United. Welcome to another video. And Cadiz 2, Barcelona 1. And it's very... I find it very annoying, but not surprising. You know, what I've seen in this game. I'm sorry, by the way, that the video is coming out so late. But, you know, I had to cool myself off a bit. Also, sorry for not making the video about the game against Fenerbahce, but I was working at the time. And, you know, I didn't think that there was much to analyze from that game. Like, we were sound. The players in that game gave the good effort, and that's good things happened. But the opponent wasn't the best one. And you could see that the problem with this team is not only the tactics, which for me are wrong for this Barcelona team, and specifically for the set of players that we have. This team has been built for a 4-3-3, not for this kind of 4-2-3-1. This team has been playing the same way for the longest time, in the good and the bad times. And what we're doing right now is not helping us. And honestly, if this is what's going to be the Barcelona, you know, for the rest of the year, I've seen all this stuff about Neymar inviting Messi to join in my PSG. For me, if Messi leaves, I think the best thing for him would be go to Manchester City and go with Guardiola. But if he wants to go, and if he's not convinced by the project, let him go in January. Let him go on a free, maybe ask for a bit of money, maybe. You know, maybe you could do something like that. But if he wants to go, if Messi's not convinced, let him go. Because no point having Messi if this team has such a big rebuild to do. Has a massive rebuild. And the thing is that I think Messi should join Manchester City because they're already a well-formed team. Yes, they have their ups and downs, but they're a team that they're still the main course of those teams that won the 2 Premier Leagues in a row. They just need, you know, maybe more motivation, which Messi will bring in for them. And transitioning from that, I say because we are not playing to Messi. Why on earth are we playing to get the best out of Griezmann? Because Griezmann didn't have a good game in this game. He wasn't absolutely horrendous. But why between Messi and Griezmann you're choosing to try to get the best out of Griezmann and Messi and not Messi? Like, there's a difference between being Messi dependent and getting the best out of Messi if you have him on your team. I don't want us to be Messi dependent, but I want us to get the best out of Messi because that's the best path to victory. Because he's the best player in the world. Because he's the one that can make the most differences. And if you have a player that with those capabilities, if you have to choose one player to get the best out of, you get the best out of him. Not of anyone else. No Dembele, no Coutinho, no Griezmann. Messi. Messi in this game wasn't bad. He did what he could, but again, trying to put all these players down the middle it's not helping. It's not helping at all. And before I forget, let's go with lineups and then we'll continue talking about the game. Barcelona opted to go with Marquinhos Tetinet, Serginho Dest, Mingueza, Lenglet, Alaba in defense. Midfield duo Frenkie de Jong, Sergio Busquets. 3 number 10 in Coutinho on the left, Messi on the right, Griezmann as a number 10, and Braithwaite up top. With Cadiz going with Ledesma in net, Carcelen, Fali, Mauro, and Espino in defense, Johnson as the holding midfielder, then 4 of Izquierdo, Bodiguer, Alex, and Perea in midfield, and up top Alvaro. Alright, so what happened in this game was that, you know, we're a team which mentality and which mental fortitude is non-existent. Because the problem is that we are gonna play well only when the game is gonna go in our favor. And what I mean by that is when we're going to have a game that's gonna be relatively easy to get into. That where there's a lot of space, where where attacking is like only the priority in this game. But whenever we have to break a team down, whenever we have to create and think and move fast with a lot of intensity, have a lot of concentration, then that's when problems start to happen. And from that time I switched between Movistar and Bein Sport to listen to the audios of games when I'm watching them. And in Bein Sport, for a while I've been hearing that the problems with Barcelona mostly come when there is 4 players that play together at the same time. Those are Messi, Jordi Alba, Sergio Busquets, and Gerard Piqué. And I agree with that. I agree with that statement. That when the 4 of them especially play together, we have problems. Today, that wasn't Piqué, but again, it was Messi, Busquets, and Jordi Alba. And it's not that they're finished individuals, but collectively, they can't play together. Because they bring the mentality of this team down. When you also have players like Griezmann and Coutinho, that are really good players, but mentality-wise, they're really easy to low in mentality, to damage their mentality, that that they're not like Luis Suarez, Eto'o, Carles Puyol, Javier Mascherano, Arturo Vidal, players that are competitive monsters, that their motivation is never gonna drop. These players are very easy to get their motivation dropped. They can easily get their motivation dropped at any point during the game because their mental fortitude is not strong. And it's not that you have to have 11 warriors in your team, although it's not a bad thing. But if you're gonna have players that are mentally weak, you need to have a bunch of players that are mentally strong to be able to lift the spirit. And right now, if you were to tell me who is a leader in this team, and I don't necessarily mean that it needs to be someone that shouts or stuff like that, because Messi is a leader. In his own way, he's a leader. But who else do you have? Who else is going to give the effort, that's going to lead by effort? Who else? Griezmann? Coutinho? Busquets? Frenkie de Jong? Jordi Alba? Who else do you have in your team that's going to lead by example? The thing is that you have no one. Because your team plays, first of all, your team doesn't have any consistency. Frenkie de Jong today was absolutely horrendous. That I don't want Busquets to play. The thing with Busquets and de Jong is that Busquets, it's a player better suited to a 4-3-3, to play in a midfield 3 as a single pivot. De Jong is a player that's better suited to play as one of the center mids in a double pivot. I think that he can play as an interior in a 4-3-3, or maybe as a pivot in a 4-3-3 with someone more defensively oriented in those interior roles. Therefore, that's why I asked for Eduardo Camavinga, because it doesn't matter what formation you play, he can play in a double pivot, he can play in a 4-3-3. He's absolutely fantastic, and that's the absolute player that we need. You tell me one player right now that I would sign in the world, anyone in the world, it wouldn't be Mbappe, it wouldn't be Jadon Sancho, it wouldn't be Holland, it would be Eduardo Camavinga, because he's a tactical necessity. And if you want to go for a player that's not that young, that maybe has more experience, okay, go for N'Golo Kante. Those are the 2 players in the world that you need right now. That we need, these are the 2 players that have the technical and capabilities and the defensive awareness and have the mental intensity to be the players to fix this Barcelona team. Also, the substitutions for Koeman, I'm starting to get tired of them. I'm one to give opportunities to Koeman because I think that he has done things to, that he should be given an opportunity. But I'm starting to, lose my faith in Koeman. And this is not me gonna blame Koeman. He's come in horrible conditions for his job. Horrible conditions. But I don't think that he's the man that's gonna lead Barcelona forward after this season. And if he wins the Copa del Rey maybe or something like that, then fine. Thank you. And thank you for your services, honestly. Like, you've done good things. Then I'm not saying that everything has been horrible from Koeman, but he's not the man to lead forward this team. Not by any means. We need things to change. Please go back to the 4-3-3, because what I don't understand is that we are worse than with Valverde, but we are playing with more. We have players that are training harder. I know that the players are training harder. You can tell that the players are training harder. The problem is that how are you playing worse and still you train harder? That's what I don't get. Tactically, you need to be a disaster for that to be the case. Because we were bad with Valverde. But this is just, ridiculous. Because at least with Valverde, and this is not me defending Valverde, the Valverde era was horrendous. And Valverde is a lot of fault of what's been going on in Barcelona right now. But with that being said, at least with Valverde, in his first season, if you wanted to be defensively sound, if you wanted to be at least defensively sound, we were able to do that. Right now, we're absolute shambles. This is a disaster. There's no other way to put it. You never have Braithwaite fixing up the center backs and locking them up for the team. Have Messi be the one to move around him, not Griezmann. Screw Griezmann. Honestly, if it was up to me at the end of the season, first of all, in January, I would tell Messi, do you want to go? In the nicest way possible, because I think that Messi doesn't have enough years in his career for the rival that I think is going to take Barcelona to take us to the next big level. I just have the feeling that the next great Barcelona team is not going to be with Messi in it. And if that's the case, then let's make it a good deal for everyone. Barcelona doesn't have to pay your wages for the next 6 months. You can go to another team and maybe try to compete for Champions League, maybe a team that's better suited to win the Champions League, because we're not winning the Champions League straight away. I see a lot of people carried away then with 15 out of 15 points that we're doing, that Real Madrid is kind of about to get knocked out if they kind of screw up against Mönchengladbach midweek. But we're not much better. We are 12 points behind Atletico Madrid. And yes, Atletico Madrid has had 8 wins and 2 draws in 10 games, which is remarkable. It is remarkable. That's a remarkable start. And it's going to be hard to keep up with that. But 12 points in 10, they have, how many points do we have? 15 points out of 10 games? That is unbelievable. 14 points, I don't even know anymore. We are in trouble. We are in serious trouble. Honestly, if you would tell me what I want out of this season, what I would say is play the youngsters as much as they can, get them as many minutes as you can, and get to the Champions League. I don't care how you get to the Champions League, just qualify for the next edition of the Champions League, please. If could be, make it comfortably. That the difference between 4th and 5th is very significant, and that I can rest my nerves that in the 30th match day of the season that we'll be comfortably in the Champions League. That's what I want out of the season. And not to get humiliated in the Champions League for a change. That would be nice. If you're gonna lose, when we lose, because I'm pretty sure that we're gonna lose in a decent manner against a decent team. Lose in a decent manner, maybe 2-1, maybe 3-2, something like that. Please don't get battered again, please. That's all that I want out of the season, because that's all that I can hope for. I can tell you here, I can sit here and record this video and tell you that things are going to get better. At least for the season. When this season ends and we know who is the presidential candidate, then we'll talk about it. We'll talk how to fix Barcelona. But for now, at least for this season, there is absolutely, I don't see any hope. Forget about winning titles. This is not a season to win titles. This is a season of transitioning. It was originally supposed to be a season of transitioning, and I think some people got carried away by the start of the season and the past few games. This is still a transition season, and a transition season is to try new things, and we need to start trying new things. We've tried the 4-2-3-1. We've given it enough chances. Now let's scratch it because it's not working. This is not working. We've played 15 games this season, and things haven't been well. Also, I want to point out substituting Mingueza at in the 45th minute, kind of pointing him out for a mistake. That, okay, you could say that May was a mistake. I think that he was kind of fouled, but that you could point out that was a mistake from Mingueza. Why are you doing that to a kid that just debuted a couple of weeks ago? Like, why are you doing that? What do you think it's going to mean for him, mentality-wise? This kid was full with motivation, and now, whenever he's going to play next, because he's going to have to eventually play again, because you have Lenglet, you have Araujo that's just recovered, and you have Mingueza. That's all that you have right now for center backs. If we get Todibo back in January, returned by Benfica, then great. You have 4 center backs. But I hope that this is not a sign that we're going to go for Garay in January, or that we're going to go for Ezequiel Garay, because I will be very disappointed. I'll be very, very disappointed. Because it seems that Koeman is doing kind of something similar to Valverde, where we're going to end up signing, a center back like Murillo, in the case probably Ezequiel Garay, if I had to say my chances, and probably like a number 9 that we don't need, aka another Kevin Prince Boateng. The substitution of Dest, I didn't understand it. I did not understand why you did substitute Sergio Dest, because he was being the best player in the game so far, or one of the best players in the game. And by the way, why is Dest on the right all on his own? Put Messi down there, take out Griezmann and put Trincao down there, but don't leave him out of his own. What the hell is Dest supposed to be doing on his own against 3 Cadiz defenders? I don't get it. And with Dembélé and Jordi Alba, this thing with Jordi Alba is, first of all, the concentration today from Jordi Alba, in that I know a lot of people for the second goal are going to blame Lenglet and Ter Stegen. I don't know why people are criticizing Ter Stegen for. He did what he tried. He tried what he could, but he was on a really bad position to be doing anything like that. Yes, they kind of made a mistake and could have done better, but Jordi Alba, that I'm not a professional footballer, but I'm sure that you're not supposed to giving a throw-in, a bouncing ball like that close to a defender. Like, no, you're supposed to give it to as close to body as possible, so they can control it down, and chest it or control with their feet or something like that, or pass it straight away. But you did not do either of those. You gave him a bouncing ball, really bad position, with Negredo approaching, luring around, and that's what happened. And also with the thing going forward with Jordi Alba, I know that Jordi Alba is one of our best weapons going forward, but if you have the option between the winger and the fullback, you give the ball to the damn winger. Stop giving the ball to Jordi Alba when you have Dembélé wide open. Jordi Alba is meant to be a support to Dembélé, or whoever winger plays in that position. If you have the winger that cuts inside, okay, then you give the ball to Jordi Alba. But if you have the winger, how many times did it count in the second half? Dembélé in the wing, staying in the wing, and the ball never gets to him because he's always going to Jordi Alba. Well, the problem is that Jordi Alba doesn't have enough space to run because Dembélé is also in that position, and Dembélé is not doing anything because he's in the position waiting for a ball that's never going to come to him. The difference with Dembélé playing on the right is that the ball between Sergio Roberto and Sergio Dest, when there's a winger in that position, the ball is given to the winger, not to the fullback, as it should be. The fullback is always a support for the winger. Doesn't matter who that fullback is. Of course, if you have fullbacks like Prime Marcelo, Prime Roberto Carlos, Prime Cafu, Dani Alves, okay, the logic thing is to put a winger that's going to cut inside and leave them that wing position. But if you have Dembélé in the wing, stuck in the wing, just sticking in the wing so he can cause damage down that side, give the ball to him. But anyways, we're about to get to 20 minutes of video. This felt kind of a rant. I kind of ranted a bit. Anyways, I'm way more calm than I was a few hours ago after I finished watching the game. And we'll talk about after the Juventus game. Anyways, guys, thank you for the support of the channel lately. It's been pretty great. Love making videos. 2020 is finally gonna end this dreadful year. Not only because of football, but because of more important things. Obviously, a lot of bad things happening this year. Anyways, guys, rest of done. Leave me all your opinions in the comment section below. Comment, like, subscribe, and I'll see you back in the next one, Blaugranas.